game. It is no coincidence that two of the best players and best YouTube creators are found here in the finals. That's what I love about Clash Royale, Woody. I've played a lot of esports. Some esports are kind of random feeling where you don't, it's really hard to see the same person win multiple tournaments. That is not Clash Royale. This is a skill-based game where the best player comes out on top. We have seen both of these players win multiple events, and there is just one more match standing between them and $20,000 apiece.
Absolutely. The first game is now underway. Surgical Goblin starting off in the back, nice and slow with a knight supported by the princess. Looks like he has turned once again to his log bait deck, one of the favorites among pros, and it doesn't really have any bad matchups. Let's see if he can hold off once again and get another win against Atchiin.
Arrows comes down, perfect timing. The goblins didn't even appear and they're dead.
Oh, wow, a big heavy Inferno Dragon trying to burn through to the tower, but can't quite make it all the way there. Ice Spirit hops on, and that's going to be a little bit of chip damage there for Surge. Gives him the thumbs up. Spirit happy with that little bit of damage he got there, yeah.
Now we have a Knight coming down. Lava Hound comes out for Atchiin, one of his favorite decks, actually. Big Lava Hound player in the Crown Championship Series.
Nice Goblin Barrel connection out the right side. Huge hit for a Surgical Goblin. Stabbing that tower now. There's nothing. Atchiin has to stop it. That's a tower, and it's up to Atchiin now to hit back even harder. Log roll through the Goblins means that there's no support for this Lava Hound whatsoever.
An unsupported Lava Hound, though, is better than a lot of tanks, because once it turns into lava pups, it's like a poor man's minion horde that can do some serious work onto the tower.
It looks like the pups are hanging on strong, just trying to keep that right side healthy.
And here we go, Knight, half health crossing. We got the Inferno Dragon on defense. Princess played at the river. You have to respond to that Princess. She's going to get a couple shots in there. So we'll see what he decides to defend with. He may end up defending with, oh no, he's just going to ignore it. Or at least let it, oh, there we go. The split Goblin gang is going to go fight it. He's willing to take a lot of damage, though, in order to kill that Princess, and it doesn't die! The Princess is alive and still shooting the tower, bringing it down to triple digits and below.
Bats take her out, but it looks like that 788 on the left side tower is none too healthy. Surge could very well go for the second crown, and it wouldn't take a whole lot of time. He does need to get this Inferno Dragon off, though. Blocked by the Knight. I think he's got the right idea here.
He does take a crown, and actually of all the decks that Surgical has played against, this one is the most likely to 3-crown him, because all it takes is an Inferno Dragon on your tower for about 6 seconds, and your King Tower is done for. The towers get lower, though. It looks like Surge is trying to go for the 2-crown victory, getting that extra tower just for safety. Arrows comes down. Oh, the Ice Spirit comes down just after the arrows, and this tower on the left is going down.
Boom goes the dynamite. Nice hit from Surge. Just have to hang on 14 more seconds. Blocking this Inferno Dragon. Can he prevent it from locking? Looks like that's a yes, but the pups are about to go wild. Ice Spirit jumps up and pops them down. That's going to be a win for the man with the plan. Surgical Goblin, Team Queso rep from the Netherlands, takes this first game.
And the crowd is starting to get into it. Surgical Goblin has just won 4 consecutive games, but for a while, the bats could have been the damage.
Viva La Sparky and the Sparky Masters. Only 2 guys remain. Rumham, it's 2 kings, 1 cup as the final of this tournament is about to be underway. We've got our man from Team Queso repping Viva La Sparky, Surgical Goblin at the podium, waiting for the first card to get played here. Let's see if Atchiin can start to turn this game around.
And if you are one of the tens and hundreds of thousands watching around the world just tuning in to see these finals, we want to remind you of the format one more time. We have 2 teams of 3 consisting of a YouTube creator and 2 pro players. Each of these matches is a best of 5 where players will create their decks and then have to defeat all 3 members of the opposing team. Surgical Goblin was the last member of his team, defeated Azelius, and now he's against the 3rd member of their team, Atchiin. The winner of this match will win it all for their team.
Executioner out back for Atchiin, trying to get a chop onto the King Tower, but don't have another tornado for him to get the target on there. Knight's going to be able to chop him down. Atchiin, with a little bit more elixir to play around with, how will he start off his next push? Both King Towers have been activated, Rummy.
That's why Tornado was such a popular card. Earlier we showed Tornado and it looked like it had kind of a bad win rate, but that doesn't mean it's a bad card, because in the hands of a skilled opponent, look at how good it can be.
Balloon falls on the left side, no drop on the tower. Atchiin is going to take some death damage there. Executioner going to support this Hog Rider. That's a deadly combo. Hog moving strong. Pulled to the center though.
Does hit her just barely. Only one hog swing. Surgical seems very happy with that, although he does give the well played because took some damage.
Yeah, you know, credit where due. You got to acknowledge when you got to get a good hit in there. Surge holding on strong. He's taking damage out as both his left and right lane. Has really only focused on Atchiin's left side.
Balloon is coming down. Ice Spirit's going to jump on it, but you really want that Ice Spirit for defense against the Balloon, and it's already out of cycle. Miner comes down to hold the tower and bring it down, maybe down to, ooh, no, 1200's all going to hit. This Death Bomb, though, will bring it to below triple digits.
Oh, man. A game of inches for sure. Atchiin came very close to taking another big hit from that Balloon, but the Hog Rider moving in fast.
Oh, no, this looks like a really good push here for Atchiin, as the Tornado only took one of them away, but no, the Knight takes out the Executioner, and most of it goes down.
It's so close, the difference between a massive hit and no damage at all. That's how these guys love to play the game.
It looks so good.
Razor close.
Like, these players see something on offense and defense that I don't play, because I'll look and I'll see it and I go, oh, that's definitely going to hit, and then it never does. Tornado used on defense against the Balloon, so no death damage on the tower. Instead, he's just going to hit 2 troops with it.
Atchiin rolls the log. No more Princess to worry about. Hog Rider's still quite healthy. Pulled into the center by the Tornado, but he's got a little bit of backup left. Knight in the back is going to take a few hits away on that left side. Hog Rider gets the connection. 2 swings is good to bring it down to triple digits.
And this is what makes that activated King Tower so good. Having 50% more defense and really 100% more defense on just one side keeps that Hog Rider from accumulating the amount of damage that we're used to seeing from an unanswered Hog Rider.
Oh man, this is an interesting play here. Surgical Goblin switches up lanes, going over on the right side now, trying to pressure Atchiin, but that's a pretty full health Hog Rider about to make it to the tower. Does he get the swing?
No!
Just a little too late.
Fraction of a second there. And maybe he's setting up for another Balloon on this side. It was a bait. It was a bait to get the Tornado out of cycle. He's trying to get back to it as soon as possible.
Miner to chip away.
Yes, it's played on the inside where both the King and get it. He has to use Tornado to pull it back. Can he kill it before it gets the death damage on the tower? Yes, it looks like it's far enough away.
Good play there by Atchiin. The Tornado, one of the only cards in the game that can really manipulate how your opponent's cards get played. Bringing that Hog Rider to the center means that it's just another opportunity to take him down. All 3 towers lock on, and there's no more for Surge to worry about at the left side.
Neither player is playing a big spell. Well, I guess we got Log and Poison for Atchiin and just Zap and I guess Princess for Surgical Goblin. Not a lot of great ways to get direct damage on the tower. There's no rocket that will finish this game.
I think Poison from Atchiin might actually give him the leg up in this competition. If he can just get a few little cycly hits over on the left side tower, he'd be doing pretty well. Ice Spirit freezes the Hog Rider, and another great stalling tactic from Surge keeps the Hog Rider off. There goes the Poison, though, starting to tick away at that left lane, and Atchiin moves ahead in damage.
Miner's coming up, gets there behind, and really the Miner is what's slowly chipping this away for Surgical Goblin. He's getting there just a tiny bit at a time. So look at the elixir advantage right now. Surgical has a massive elixir advantage at this state in the game because he's, I guess, forcing way more elixir out of Atchiin on defense.
Knight to catch the Executioner, not quite within tower range, unfortunately, but it's an aggressive move. Surge sends in another Balloon to start trying to make its way toward the left side tower. Gotta keep these Balloons off. We need that Tornado. Here it goes. Atchiin pulls it in, and left side down to 424. Just takes a little bit of minor chip damage out the back. And those death bombs are just out of range. Atchiin is doing an amazing job with his Tornadoes, keeping those Balloons away. That's the thing you're always worried about. That Tornado spell came in a little late. Needed that backup from the Ice Spirit to keep the Hog Rider off.
Ice Spirit's going to jump on the Knight, and we have another Balloon. He's just forcing him over and over again, but Atchiin is only a Log and Poison away from winning this game, so this Tornado has to keep the Balloon off or else he is in big trouble.
188, 104. Miner brings it down to 40. Zap could win the game for Surge. Can he get there fast enough? Poison Log, it's a base race. Zap gets it! Surgical Goblin wins!
Surgical Goblin of the Netherlands has ice in his veins, keeps his composure, and wins the game with 24 health left on his tower. Unbelievable.
Like, I do not believe what I just saw. Spell cycle, the final conclusion of that game. And who'd have guessed that the weakest spell in the entire game would get the final kill? Zap from Surgical Goblin for the last blow. $10.
And that's it. If he sweeps Azelius and sweeps Atchiin as well, a 6-0 run to close out this tournament would be the most ridiculous. It would immediately go into Clash Royale lore as one of the strongest endings to a tournament in the history of this game.
Bat splitting it up, a little bit of cycle here early on. We're going to catch that Inferno Dragon with a Goblin gang. Nice move by Surge to keep that Princess healthy. Splitting up his push though, sends in the barrel at the right.
Ice Spirit gets in there, getting a little bit of damage. Log's going to come through, and Dark Goblin picks off the Princess.
Log bait for Surge, working very well for him in the first matchup that he had. Now bringing it once again against Atchiin. Let's see if he can pull it off again. Lava Hound sweeping in the right lane. Will Atchiin commit to the push? Just some bats so far.
The arrows comes in a little late, and the Dark Goblins, or the Goblin Barrel gets several hundred points of damage, and the Knight is pushing it further down into triple digits. The Lava Hound, though, on the top right side is also going to return the favor, dropping Surgical Goblin's tower deathly low.
Who said chivalry is dead? That Knight was putting in some great hours on the left side tower. Atchiin brought down to 673. Looking like this game might wind up being a 2-1 result. Who do you think is favored in this matchup, the Lava Hound deck or the Log Bait deck?
If it goes to a 2-1 game, I think Lava Loon is in a really good position. The biggest downside is that rocket that can be used defensively, but once you get to the point where one tower's down on each side, you can just start playing defensive troops. You play your Dark Goblin, you play your Inferno Dragon, you play your Bats, and then only when they are counterattacking and crossing the river do you drop that center-placed Lava Hound, and that is how you can turn it around in a one-tower down situation.
Atchiin recognizes the weakness over in his left lane, going to defend hard with the high-flying Lava Hound. Interesting juke barrel thrown in the backside, only gets one stab onto the tower there from Surgical Goblin.
Because Atchiin has arrows instead of zap or log, you had to throw it way in the corner because a simple 1 or 2 tile off juke barrel would not avoid the arrows.
Big aerial attack from Atchiin. Getting that Inferno Dragon across the river would be a great boon for him. Balloon strikes the right side tower. 878 hit points remain on it. Atchiin's going to be hard pressed to get that thing down in the next 40 seconds. Sends in a quick Dark Goblin while he tears apart the left lane with a little bit more of that Lava Pup action.
This is Surgical Goblin's chance to start working on the second tower. That Lava Hound may not be stoppable. 500 damage isn't that much, and between Poison and just Lava Hound's Spear Goblin level attacks, I don't think you can stop that, but what you can do is start working on the next tower.
Last spell in Atchiin's deck gets him that tower down, and yes, we will have a 2-1 game result. That is, unless one of these players goes for the 3 crown. Surgical Goblin with Log Bait sends in another attack down the right side. Knight making his way in. Log supplementing to take out the Dark Goblin. A few stabs from that Goblin Barrel are looking great.
And here we are. Poison comes down on the top left, hitting the Princess and taking it down. These towers are deathly close. Only 1249 separates Surgical Goblin from the championship, and only 1560 separates Atchiin from the first win of this match.
Lava Hound coming on in to support this next push. An aggressive barrel. The Inferno Dragon, it's locked on. Oh my God, Surge doesn't see it. Atchiin gets the win!
Inferno Dragon! It ramps up in damage. It starts low and ends high after a few. So far, this is insane. Of course it has to come down to a 2-2 tie between these teams. Of course it has to come down to Surgical Goblin and Atchiin, the regional champions from the Crown Championship Global Series.
Razor thin margin of victory for both of these guys. Remember, if Surgical Goblin wins this game, it bears repeating, he has won the entire tournament. He's always been first place ever since he got second at ESWC last year. He has not been happy with taking silver, going for the gold, moving in hard on this left side with Musketeer, though. Atchiin gonna give him a little bit of a run for his money.
It's worth mentioning that Atchiin has an incredible opportunity in front of him. He could upset the best player in Clash Royale, and he could become a legend in this game if he defeats Surgical Goblin 2 more games in a row.
This is effectively a reverse sweep that he's got to pull off, though. Surgical Goblin with the 1-game lead in this best of 5 really has got the stronger position by far. Atchiin needs to be able to turn this around hard, and I don't know, with the Mega Knight up against this Log Bait deck, he might just be able to do it.
And that was what make it a legendary performance. Surgical Goblin with a good trick there. He threw the Goblin Barrel purposely on the front side of the tower through the prediction log, so anything that was going to come and block it had to get hit by the log. Took out Atchiin's defending Goblins, and that tower ends at 1696.
Good read, Rummy. We got a big deck from Atchiin, but I haven't really seen anything I'd call a win condition yet.
I believe Graveyard's
minor poison. You think Graveyard's in there as well?
So.
Oh, it's Tombstone.
Could be 3 Musketeers too, but there's no pump, so...
It's Tombstone. Take a look.
Oh, got him. 12:03, and that's a good opportunity for Atchiin to invest this Mega Knight because he knows his opponent's low elixir. He's not going to get rocketed or anything else. That lets you build up a big push. Tombstone is already making skeletons that can back up this Mega Knight.
Let's go.
Princess is going to probably start shooting at those skeletons unless it gets taken out by a log or poison.
Ooh, Miner instead, but pulled to the King Tower. She'll survive after all, and that's a nice defensive advantage for Surgical Goblin. Zap takes out the Princess, though, and it looks like Atchiin moving in on the right side. Log rolls through that push, but that's not going to take out the Mega Knight or the Musketeer. Lock is good, and Surge is in a lot of trouble, pounding that right side down to 614. Atchiin is ahead in damage by far.
The Tombstone comes down, but it's not quite the best answer. The tower gets to 567. Surgical Goblin just needs a log and a rocket to become the champion of this game.
But hold on, he's got to defend against this right side push. 614 and a poison on top of it is not a healthy position whatsoever. Surgical Goblin sends in a barrel, trying to get a cheaper play here instead of having to send in that final rocket.
And now he's just within a rocket range. 28 seconds to go. Atchiin has plenty of time to do 374 damage. He might do it with a poison. He might do it with troops.
Surgical Goblin not going to let this thing go away easily. Sends out that rocket. It might have been a little early, but let's see if it pays off for him. Atchiin with the poison connection out the right lane. I don't think it's enough damage, though. Zap on top is too short.
Zap's not enough. Poison's out. He doesn't have an answer for it. The Miner's coming in. Will it get caught? It doesn't. Atchiin ties it up. The crowd is going wild. We are going into overtime in this game.
One more win for Surge could claim victory, but dropping that right side tower is not a good look, especially against this heavy Miner control deck from Atchiin. Playing very smart defense, missed that drop though. The Mega Knight intended to take out the Goblin Barrel, but looks like he's gonna have to go harder on the counterattack if he wants to get value out of this big heavy dude.
Atchiin has to be thrilled because he's got a much bigger advantage here in the one tower overtime game. 2 defensive towers shooting those Goblin Barrels. Defense takes no damage from the Goblin Barrel.
Wow.
Log comes through, cleans out the Goblins, pushes back the Musketeer. But I really like Atchiin's position now in this game. He's in a good shape to tie it up 2-2 and push it to a game 5.
Muskie at the bridge, shut down by Princess though. Nice Miner in there, trying to get rid of her, but a good catch by Surge as well. Knight chops down that Miner. Wow, aggressive Goblin gang out on front, caught by the Tombstone. No value there, but wow! Yeah. Tornado to pull that Muskie back in range of the rocket. Surge is out for blood.
Surge feels like he can just defend with less elixir, so he's comfortable maybe overspending to get the damage on the tower while taking care of the counterattack. Oh no,
this
comes
is a
Mega
punish
Knight.
though. Atchiin sends in the Mega Knight, and even though there wasn't very much defense against the Goblin Barrel, chopping apart this big old Mega Knight's not an easy task. Miner trying to give some support, but to be honest, the Goblin gang from Surge got massive value right there.
Atchiin has the deck matchup, but Surgical's playing this really well. He basically got 600 damage without taking any on his own. He's going to throw the log down there. There's a forward Goblin Barrel again. It hits. It stabs. No, the Goblins come in just later. Good timing.
Mega Knight deflected back toward the bridge. Surge with the defensive Knight of his own, but that Mega Knight's about to get a jump over onto the tower, blocked by the Goblin gang, but that's not a great counter whatsoever. Miner connects in Atchiin's favor when only a minute 20 left until this thing is done.
More stabs get on there. 635. It's 2 logs and a rocket. 1 log comes through, brings it down to 539. 1 more log rocket will do it. But there is not a lot of defense here as this Mega Knight is looking to jump.
Pulling him back with a tornado, but that only buys you time. Surge sends in the barrel, rolls a log with it, kills the Muskie and gets a stab out of the tower. 337 is the total left, but look out, a Muskie and a Mega Knight coming on in hard for Atchiin.
Oh, the tower's gonna get frozen just for a little bit. Goblin gang comes there. Let's count the elixir. 4, 5. Is it gonna happen? 6.
No, he's gonna defend instead. Pulls the Muskie away, but she doesn't die. Forces the log out. Atchiin gets it down to 39. Poison for the kill, and this match is tied up 2-2.
Look at the crowd. The crowd is standing there clapping. They cannot believe the level of Clash Royale that they are watching right now. Atchiin, who is stressful environment, members of Boombox, and of course, YouTube Gaming and OnePlus for putting this on.
Boom. Hit all the nails right on the head.
245 separates these players from greatness.
Princess marches down into the poison, unfortunately taken out. Atchiin with a nice little early damage advantage. No punish yet from Surgical Goblin. Since in the barrel, though, it's another log bait.
Now remember, Surgical has to play log bait. He's stuck into this deck. So Atchiin is now playing his 3rd deck of the day. And look at this, it's as Doom says, yes, let's go, Atchiin. Vamos, Atchiin.
Vamos. iHawk5 says, hats off to Atchiin's effort. Hashtag Kings Cup 2 at OnePlus. Remember, you get a chance to win a phone if you send in those tweets right now.
Woo.
And even Clash Royale itself is getting in on the action. Woo! Atchiin Woo keeps Surgical Goblin from sweeping by getting a 3 crown at the perfect moment in game 3.
Well played, good game. Nice stab out the left lane, though. Surgical Goblin gets that barrel to connect, and he's trying to see if he can get this Inferno Tower to lock on. King activated, but this Inferno Dragon could be getting a lot of damage off. Surge's King activated, though, able to help deal with these pups. It's a damage lead for Atchiin, though.
Jacob 3532 says, go for gold, Surgical Goblin. Whoo, 572 on the top left tower. It's 1273 on the bottom left tower. Balloon for Atchiin.
Wow.
Defensive. Now, here that's a negative elixir trade, though, for Surgical. So it's actually, I mean, Atchiin's happy with that because his opponent's down 1 elixir.
Moving in with another barrel on the left side. Surgical Goblin trying to get a little bit more damage out there. He knows that this has got to be a 2-1 game. The good thing for him, though, is that there's no hard counter in Atchiin's deck. The 3 elixir arrows does take out the barrel, but it's not a decisive victory on defense. If that is how you have to spin that spell.
Now, he's using the Goblin Barrel to get the arrows out of the hand, then going in right after with more sort of spell-bait style cards. The 2 Spear Goblins lock on, though.
Wow.
This tower's going down very quickly on the right side.
Atchiin willing to take a few hits over on the right side, convinced that this might just be a 1 crown game here. If he defends hard on the left side, it might indeed turn out that way. Lava Hound Inferno Dragon coming on in. Is Surge just going to soak this damage? He very well may. Yes, he will. Soaks the damage and goes for the 2 crown. It's a risky maneuver. Will it pay off for him?
I think so, because he's going to take this bottom right tower.
Hold on.
And now he's got a massive damage advantage going on to the left side.
Tornado pulls the Inferno Dragon off just in time. It gets forced off with the pups exploding. Unfortunate for
back on, though.
but it's locked on again. There's no damage from Surge to deal with it. Finally, we get a Goblin Gang to wipe it out.
1061 on the left side, 2020 on the top right. The Inferno Dragon is the real threat here. It locks onto the King Tower again, but it's pulled back. Ice Spirit jumps and freezes them. Princess is trying to clear out the mush so that he can get more damage on there, and woo! Surgical Goblin manages to pull it off and stay alive a little bit longer.
Good bit of splash from Surgeon. He really is paying dividends now on that early work he did on the right side tower. Taking it down means that the left side is very vulnerable. Throws in the barrel, and this is a good hit from that.
Forcing the rocket out of Surge's hand to take care of the balloon is a good move, because if he gets to rocket that tower, then he's only 1 cycle away from winning the entire match. So you force him to use it on the balloon for a negative elixir trade.
Aggressive knight play, kind of ignoring this Inferno Dragon out the right side, looking a little dangerous here. Pulling it away using the Tornado spell keeps that left side under pressure, but no damage yet for Atchiin.
Another Goblin Barrel's coming in. Arrows comes down to take it out.
The 3-for-3 trade. Princess about to get a bandit shot. Yes, the gambit is good. 2 shots for the Princess, and that's gonna be it, Rummy.
A rocket comes out for Surgical Goblin as Surgical Goblin wins game 5 and the Kings come 2. They're rushing the stage. Team Queso is rushing the stage. Surgical Goblin is bouncing up and down. Clash with Ashes holding him.
3 words from him. Viva la Sparky. Champions of the King's Cup 2. I think we've got one last look at that replay before we get to break down the entire tournament. That amazing strike on the left side tower, leading Surgical Goblin and the rest of his teammates to victory. He has retained his #1 status in the world, undisputed champion, and has never lost a major tournament.
This is unreal. The players from all over the world are coming on stage to congratulate the King's Cup 2 champion. Everyone, high fives all around. You can see the adrenaline dump in both players. It's so intense to be locked into a match like this, having it go to the last possible game and end that close.
And don't forget Clash with Ash and Vulcan.